Hi, in this lesson we are going to have a quick overview of what we have learned so far. This time I am going to use slides. In this presentation you may see some values cut off on right side or at the bottom, but I will give you the link in this video. Please go to that link and you will be able to see the complete PowerPoint presentation. Also please note the PowerPoint presentation is work in progress, so you may see some changes when you are accessing the PowerPoint. Let's get started. We started by setting up our environment. We have downloaded JDK 8 and we have installed it. Then we also have downloaded NetBeans and we installed the IDE. Then we have written our first Hello World program. We have seen that all the source will be written in source files that will end with .java extension. Also the class name should exactly match, including case, with the file name. Then we have seen that main is the entry point into the program. Also we have looked at the main method signature. Then we have learned how to print a message to the console. Then we have compiled our first program using Java C compiler and we have provided .java extension file, that is Java file. Then once the compilation is complete without any errors, we have ran it with Java command, which is the interpreter command. So here we should not give any extension. So we don't provide .java or .class at the end. Okay, that is our first program. Then we have started seeing the Java types, because to save any data we need data types. So we know that there are two types, primitive type and reference type. That is the broadest category. You may not be able to see reference type that is present at the bottom. We are not discussing reference types. We will discuss them when we look at classes and objects. For now we will discuss what we have already learned, that is primitive types. Primitive types are classified into two categories. One is Boolean type, next one is numeric type. Boolean type is always true or false, nothing else can be there. And for numeric type it is further divided into integer type and floating point type. Integer types, byte, short, int and long, these are signed numbers, meaning we have negative as well as positive numbers, and they are stored using 2's complement. The biggest integer value is this and the biggest long value is this one. And char is a 16-bit unsigned integer, meaning the values will range from 0 to this particular number and they will represent UTF-16 code units. That is about numeric types. Coming to floating point types, they follow IEEE 754 standards and they are of two types: float, which is single precision, double, which is double precision. Their range is specified here. Also we know that float only has 6 or 7 significant decimal digits. If you need to represent a number, financial figure around 2 billion, the float won't be sufficient because it cannot accurately store that number. We will go for double because it has more significant decimal digits. Then we have seen the literals. We have seen Boolean literal true and false. Then the integer numbers without L will be by default integer literals. We have seen how to represent integer literals in 4 systems: decimal, hexadecimal, binary and octal. Also we have seen we can use underscore to increase the readability of the numbers. The long literals will have L. That is all about integers. And coming to floating literals, float literals will have F, and without F they will be decimal literals, not decimal, double literals. Okay, and we have also seen character literals and how to represent those things using Unicode. Then we have revisited primitive types and we have seen the ranges, proper ranges of these integers. Also we have seen that if we need any number greater than this long, then we have to go for big integer. We haven't covered big integer set, but we will cover them. Then we have seen character or char is a 16-bit unsigned integer representing code units. So some characters will have only single code unit and some characters will have 2 code units. If the code unit is in this range, it is the first code unit of a single character with two code units. If it is in this range, then it is the second code unit of a single character with two code units. All others are regular characters. Then we have seen float has only 6 or 7 significant decimal digits, and when we tried to save this number, it was not able to save. We can see clearly here 21 is rounded off to 20. Also, we have seen there is no representation of 0.1 in floating point system. If you try to save 0.1, it is going to save 0.1 then some digits at the end. Double is a bit better. It has 14 or 15 significant decimal digits, but still for doing the financial calculations where round off errors are not tolerated or tolerance is very less there, we want to use big decimal. Then we have looked at variable naming convention. They are case sensitive. There is no limit on the length. They should start with a letter. After that they can have letters and digits. Dollar and underscore are allowed, but they are not preferred because dollar is used in compiler generated code. We use the camel case and variable name starts with a lowercase. And we cannot use keyword or reserved words as a variable name. White space is not permitted. And coming to constants, we will be writing in all capitals and the words will be separated using underscore. Then we have looked at system.out methods println, which will include the line feed at the end. Also we have seen print without line feed. Also a couple of times we have used printf to format the message, and %d will stand for integer types, %f will be replaced with floating types, and %s is used for strings. Also we have seen how to use scanner to read the integers as well as strings. Then we have looked at type conversions. Also we have looked at scenarios where implicit typecasting is allowed. So basically implicit typecasting is allowed when there is no loss of magnitude, meaning there is no loss of value, not only precision, no loss of value also. Explicit casting is required whenever there is a loss of magnitude or precision. So we have divided it into 4 categories and we have looked at where implicit casting is allowed and where explicit cast need to be included. Then we have looked at various operators and we have also looked at their precedence and associativity. You can refer to these 2 slides for complete list. Then we have looked at Boolean operators. Also we have looked at their truth tables. We looked at regular AND and OR, XOR. Also we have looked at shortcut AND and shortcut OR. We also have seen logical complement. Then we looked at numeric promotions. So whenever you are adding numbers or subtracting, basically binary operators, the numeric promotion will happen. So if either of operand is of type double, the other is converted to double. If that is not the case, meaning otherwise, if either operand is float, other is converted to float. Otherwise, if either operand is long, other is converted to long. Otherwise, both operands are converted to int. Then we have looked at conditional operators or conditional statements. We have looked at simple if else, and if else if structures. Then we have looked at ternary operator, which has 3 operands. Also we have seen first operand should be a Boolean, and the result of this operation will be depending on both expression 1 and expression 2. Then we looked at switch statement, which can be used to increase the readability of a code when we use if else chain. So instead of using if else chain, we can convert it to a switch statement. Also we have seen that switch statements in a switch block falls through labels, so we have to include breaks wherever appropriate. Also we have seen that the case labels or the constants should be assignment compatible with the switch expression. So this expression should be assignment compatible with the constants. Also we have seen there can't be duplicate constants for the case labels. Also there cannot be more than one default label. Then we started looking at loop constructs. We have seen the loop, while loop, where expression and statement. So this is the expression, this is the statement or block will be executed repeatedly. So in case of while loop, expression and statement or expression and block will be executed repeatedly. But if we come to do while loop, here the block and expression will be repeatedly evaluated. So in this case, the block will be executed at least once. Then we have seen the for loop, which will keep the initialization and expression and the update code in one place. Initialization code will execute only once at the beginning of for loop, and after that expression, the body and update part will be repeatedly evaluated till the expression is false. Then we have seen the usage of break and continue. Break will terminate the loop or switch statement, but continue will skip the remaining steps in the current iteration. So that is what we have seen so far. I hope this quick recap will help you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and share it with others.